Welcome to Thunder Nerds. I'm Brian Hinton.
And I'm Frederick Philip Von Weiss. And thank you for consuming the Thunder Nerds, a conversation with the people behind the technology that love what they do.
And do tech good.
Boom! Me, myself, and I. Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us again. We'd like to ask you if you could go to the old YouTubes and subscribe. Go to the iTunes, kick a few stars our way. Go to thundernerds.io/review. Help us out with a review. That would be super neato, cool of you. Speaking of reviews, Brian, do we have a review to read today?
We do. It's titled "The Thunder Nerds Are Having More Fun Than You" by Ye Old Captain. Awesome. Great name.
He would know.
Yeah, don't have much time in my busy schedule for podcasts. It's an unfortunate but true side effect of having a job that requires lots of undistracted, focused time. But I always carve out time for the Thunder Nerds. Aw, that's nice. Because I want my information and insights relevant to my industry with a positive outlook, healthy sense of humor. It feels like an addendum to my daily work and an entertaining escape at once. The variety of topics and guests keeps things interesting, and the interplay between hosts and their in-jokes will leave you smiling. Oh, that's nice. Thank you, Captain.
Yeah, thank you so much, Captain. To you, Captain. Captain, my captain. And our last announcement before we get to our guests, we're going to be at an event apart. Brian, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we're going to be live at Event Apart in Orlando in October. What are the dates, Frederick?
They are October 8th, 9th, and 10th. We are going to be live. We're going to be speaking to some of the guests. We're going to be speaking to people at the event, and we are going to have a great time. We're actually even going to give away something for the event. What's that?
Yeah, we're going to give away $100 off of any 2 or 3 day pass. It's you use code AEA Nerds, AEA Nerds, and you'll get $100 off. That's $100 is no laughing matter.
Jeez. All right, just after you set me up. Yeah, that's pretty nice. It's pretty easy to remember. And Event Apart Nerds. We nerds, Event Apart. So we will see you there in October. We're super excited, and we've already spoke to a number of these guests on the show, and it's going to be super cool to speak to them in person in O-Town. So we will see you there. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get to our guest. We have an exciting gentleman to speak with today, and I know everybody out there is super excited to hear what he has to say. We have, let me read this all correctly, we have co-founder, developer of Interface Lovers, senior software engineer at GitHub. I've heard of that place. Not sure where. Founder of Seeker, and we'll get into what Seeker is. I think it's a video game. I don't know. Who knows? Iheanyi Ekechukwu. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
Yeah. Great to be here.
We're so excited to have you on, man.
I'm excited to be here.
Nice, nice. So, hey, where are you joining us from today?
I'm joining from Brooklyn, New York. Bed-Stuy.
How are you from Brooklyn, by the way?
No, born and raised in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I've only been living in New York for 2.5 years.
Ooh, okay. How you liking the Big Apple, whatnot?
I like it. I love it. It's like beats living in a city of 26,000 people. You have like 8.9 million here, so it's a lot. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, big change, definitely.
Yeah, talking about culture shock, but yeah.
What was the big kind of culture shock that you first came across? What was the big thing that you noticed that was so different from Carolina?
I got more diversity in 10 minutes than I did in my entire life. Of moving to just in the airport alone, I was like hearing 10 different languages was like overwhelming. Just like everybody talking, I was just like, this is awesome. And it wasn't even after I moved. It's just actually like the first time I visited New York City, I was just like, wow, I have to move here. And yeah. I was after my first job, or I was for my first job, and ended up getting a job at a startup here and moved back in 2016.
Yeah, what I love about the big city is it doesn't matter. 2 a.m. you want sushi, you can get sushi. 2 a.m.
Yep.
You want tacos, get tacos. A lot of other places, small towns, nope. 10 p.m. everything closes.
Even San Francisco. I was just in San Francisco for work, and everything closes at 10 p.m., 11 p.m. if you're lucky, and it was kind of happy. Yeah.
So what brought you to Brooklyn? What led you to be in there?
It's cheaper than Manhattan. It's more my vibe. I like the art scene here. I like the vibe that Brooklyn has and like sense of community. And also just get more bang for your buck. And I don't really mind like commuting. Like back whenever I was commuting, I had like a 45 minute commute. So I just like read on the subway. I didn't want to like, and also I only had to have one roommate, right? So it all worked out.
Do you mind if I also ask, and maybe Brian meant more this, what brought you from South Carolina to over there to New York?
Oh, I moved to New York from Texas. I worked in Texas for a year. So
Texas, you said?
Yeah.
Austin? Yes.
Yep.
Oh,
yep,
okay.
Yep. So South Carolina, left South Carolina at 18, went to Indiana for college. After college, moved to Texas to work at IBM for a year, IBM Watson for a year, and then I moved to New York City.
How was the experience at IBM?
I mean, I was only there for a year, so I think that's pretty self-explanatory about how I went.
Well, I read that you worked on Watson Chef, though. I thought that was pretty neat. Like,
That was pretty neat, but I didn't have a sense of like product ownership in a way. I don't know. I just felt like I wasn't growing as much as I did whenever I worked at DigitalOcean for 2.5 years, and I grew more there in like a month than I did in like a year, right? Because like it's big companies, they have a different velocity, and like you have to kind of like wait for permission to like do anything and twiddle your thumbs. The whole React patent debate was still going on then, so even like fighting for that was like a headache in and of itself. So yeah, it's kind of a
big corporation versus smaller organization.
Yeah. And now I'm back at like a big company, well, big-ish company.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must feel much nicer.
Yeah, you're at GitHub now. So, how did you what aspect of GitHub do you work on exactly?
So I can't say my project specifically, but I do work in the infrastructure org.
Give us the details, everything.
I know, I wish, but I'm
which tentacle?
Not allowed to say. Yeah.
Which tentacle?
Probably like the last one. I don't know.
Tentacle number 8.
Yeah, on Mona.
Oh, you know what? Since we're talking about this, I want to ask you.
That's perfect.
I want to ask you about the tentacles because you're going to. I saw the tweet where you're going to get the tattoo.
Yeah. It's not gonna be an octopus tattoo or an octocat tattoo. But yeah, I'm getting a tattoo tomorrow at 6 p.m. of like an angel on my right arm. So.
See, I thought you were getting the thing on your arm. What are you getting?
I'm getting an angel. Just like my mom's name's Angela, so yeah.
I think if I worked at GitHub, I would get that tattoo in like day one.
People probably be like, you have to answer so many questions like, yo, what the hell is that? Like, nobody knows what the heck an octocat is. Like, even the statue, people like come and they're like, yo, what is that? I'm just like, an octopus and a cat merged together?
How do you not get it?
Right.
Wow.
You could get the Microsoft logo now.
Dude.
After that deal closes, maybe. But no, I'm like excited for this tattoo I'm getting tomorrow. 4 hours under the needle. Should be fun.
Yeah, that's not so bad. I mean, like we were talking before we started recording, it's not like it's going to be tattooed on your ribs or something.
Oh, no, that'd be really, like, miserable for 4 hours. I'll take a tattoo for 4 hours over a rib tattoo for, like, even, like, 3 hours or 2 hours. Like.
By the way, I was wondering on your GitHub profile, who did the illustration of you there?
Oh yeah. I think her real name, I'm trying to remember her real name. Her Alexis? Can't remember her last name. Her Twitter handle and Instagram handle, I'm pretty sure, is Flower Veil, Veil. And I forgot how I found her. But yeah, she did that illustration. Really awesome piece. And like I love it. Talks and like some social media, not so like online profiles and stuff like that. Yeah, really talented. Check out her work. She's really cool and really friendly and great to work with.
Yeah, we'll put a link in the show notes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. How did you hook up with her? How did you?
I randomly saw her artwork on Twitter and she said like, "Oh, I'm open for commissions." I'm just like, "Oh, awesome, yeah."
Twitter,
it's like,
do my face,
Yeah.
Reply, do my face.
Essentially, yeah. It's like, I just commissioned her to do a piece of like, just me, and then like also another piece of like me. It was also near Valentine's Day. I remember this because like me and my girlfriend at the time, I got a piece of us from then. So yeah, but she's really awesome, and like she was really fast turnaround time and high quality. Artists just amaze me at how fast it can work. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's astounding sometimes how quickly people like if you ever watched those what are they called the
Live streams?
caricatures, the caricature
Oh,
people when they do like caricatures like live,
yeah,
it's whoa. I'm like, how do you do that? Like I'm an
yeah,
artist, but I'm not
It's
a
just like
fast
anything
artist.
that you
Yeah.
do. It's like
Yeah.
if you enjoy doing it, you can do it efficiently.
yeah. Or after a while, you get like faster at it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, let's jump into a little bit of context about you, if you don't mind. I would
Yeah.
like to ask you about how you got your start in the industry and talk about what you went to college for. And I believe you wanted to be a game developer. So, do you mind talking about like your journey from school and how you got into what you're doing now?
Yeah, so I wanted to be a game developer in high school. I was actually thinking about going to one of those trade schools to do it, but whenever it came time to do like all this college prep, like nonsense, like SAT, ACTs, researching careers and salaries, I realized that the game development industry is actually really bad. People are overworked, underpaid in comparison to like most software engineering in like positions. And I remember I was talking about it with one of my cousins who used to live with me back whenever I was like in middle school, with me and my family. And he majored in computer science and used to work at Microsoft. And he's just like, well, you just major in computer science, like you can switch into like that way you can like build games if you want to, but you can also do other stuff you want to. I'm just like, huh, that's
Great
a good
advice.
idea. Yeah. So actually, I didn't major in computer science at first. I majored in computer engineering. Then I took my first electrical engineering course, and I was up until 2 a.m. doing the first problem set for the homework, and everybody was. I'm just like, yeah, no, drop that class, switch to computer science, and picked up also doubled second. I started doing a dual degree program for design as well. So I went to Notre Dame. I did have a BS in computer science and rather a Bachelor of Science in computer science and a Bachelor of Arts in graphic design. So
Oh, nice. How much graphic design stuff do you play with?
nowadays, zero. Like I'm in like literally I've been in a creative drought for like at least a year, if not longer.
Do you still want to do anything in gaming at all? Like, do you see yourself going back to
Oh,
making something?
I built a game in undergrad and I was like, wow, this is hard, and I will be okay not doing this again.
Not gonna
Yeah.
drop something on the Apple Store anytime soon?
No, I mean maybe like I don't know. I built a game using C++ like second semester sophomore year, and that was
Tell
fun.
us about your game. What was it called? What was it like? What did you do in the game?
Otter Swag. It was like a one-click game. There was missiles, and like you had a little otter sprite that you had to like swim up and down and dodge missiles and collect coins and stuff. It's just like one of those like infinite scroller games that you can play. Kind of like
Okay.
honestly thinking about it, if I had built that, like if me and my friends had built that. Like before Flappy Bird was released.
Yeah. It's like,
Yo, we literally that game came out. We're just like we were sitting on a gold mine and we didn't even know. So yeah.
You're so close.
It's not hard to rewrite, to be honest, or it wouldn't be that hard to rewrite. But like we ripped sprites from like old Game Boy like advanced games or something like that, and like to build like the sprite sheets. But it was a fun experience. I went back and looked at the code. I'm just like, wow, this is actually really grimy. But hey, it worked.
It's awesome. Well, let's jump a little bit from after college, and I think this project, and this, I'm sure a lot of people know you from the podcast from Two Black Nerds. After college, it seems like Two Black Nerds was a post college project. Is that fair to say?
Oh yeah, me and Romeo wanted to do it because like Romeo's my best friend from college and co-host on the show. Basically, we're trying to figure out a way to we were just like, hey, we should do like a project together, something after we graduate, something just to keep us accountable, frequent check-ins, frequent communication, stuff like that. And we tossed around a few ideas, like one, we can't do a hardware project because I'm in Texas, you're in like Michigan. It's not like feasible. Can't do software because he was just like, yeah, I know you and you'd be frustrated at the pace I move and I don't program as fast or as well as you do, so we can't do that. And eventually I forgot who said it. It was like, I think it was like, what about a podcast? And he's like, why not? So, because like me and Romeo, whenever we'd hang out in undergrad, we just talk about the most random things and it'd be like long discussions over like dinner or coffee or whatever.
Why don't we record this?
Yeah, it's just like basically having the same style of conversations we had during undergrad, only over a microphone. So like we went ahead and started doing that, and it worked out. You know, we're trying to think of names. Naming things is hard, like as every programmer knows. Like, you know how it goes. But like, I don't know. I think I got the idea. I was just thinking about it, like, all right, what are the things that we have in common? I'm like, well, we're both Black. That's true. And like, we're both like nerds, because like me and Romy are kind of like opposites, right? He's really good at the hardware side of things, and from a design perspective, he's really good at industrial design and actual like doing physical product design. Whereas me, on the other hand, I'm like decent at like programming, and I have an awareness of graphic design and like or product design from a digital software perspective. So yeah. So basically, I was just like, you know, there's a music blog called like Two Dope Boys. I was just like, you know, why not two Black nerds? Like, I know it's catchy.
Did you have any other names? Do you recall any other names you have? Are you?
No.
You were done right there.
Memorable. Yeah. Two Black nerds just rolled off the tongue. I was just like, huh. I'm like, let me make a logo for this right quick. So I whipped up like a quick logo in like Illustrator. I was like, all right, we're rolling with it.
Nice. So, yeah. Do you have any kind of inspiration to go back to that? Like the last episode was way back in, I think, 2017 in May. And you guys didn't like put like a you know, this is our final episode and this is why, and anything that you want to communicate to the fans, like, hey, you know, this could possibly come back.
I'm still waiting on Romeo to edit the last episode we recorded. We have like content that we haven't released yet, but he's like, yeah, dude, I still have episodes. Like, I just talked to him like 2 weeks ago. He's like, yeah, I haven't edited that episode yet. I'm just like, you're killing me, Smalls. But, you know.
It's going to be so outdated at this point.
No kidding.
You got to put on a new one that has the update to it.
Angular 2. We're talking about Angular 2.
Right. Actually, yeah, I'll still have my old employer then. Yeah, dude, like, I'm trying to start recording again. I think at the top, like, we've been talking about it. But I think really the way that we stayed on top of it before, you have to keep each other accountable. We would have the same time every week, every Sunday, record every week. And even if we're not releasing something like for a while, you build up like a backlog. It's just getting back into that flow and that momentum. And like that
it's all about that habit.
Yeah, you know, the power of habit, like is very powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you guys still tight? You still hang out or not hang out because you're in different locations, but you still talk?
I haven't talked back in July. Yeah, that's my boy.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I was hanging out in Chicago with him. Yeah, we still talk.
Yeah, it's so easy to fall out of touch with good friends. I got a good friend in Raleigh, and like we talk here and there, but it's not the same.
Yeah, I try to make it just keep in touch with my friends and to visit them like every year. So. And just my new, like, now that I work remotely, it becomes way easier to do that as well. So,
well, that's true. Yeah. You could just jump on a plane and be, boop, there I am, and start working from there.
Yeah, essentially. So it's chill.
Well, speaking of that, what is your? I'm curious what your day to day is kind of like working at GitHub. What are you?
Yeah. Are you combing the cats? Are you taming the tentacles? What's going on?
So my day to day, I don't know. Like I wake up every morning. Sometimes I go for a run. Sometimes I don't. Depends on how I'm feeling, my motivation levels that day.
How hot it is.
Yeah. Pretty much my day to day is like pretty straightforward. Like half my team's in the UK, so you know I think they're 5 hours ahead. But wake up. I generally start my day off or my mornings off by doing checking emails or doing some code review if necessary. Stand up is until 11:30.
Nice.
We work in 1 week sprints. We work in 1 week sprints. Stand up is 30 minutes, planning every Monday for an hour from 11 to noon. And then like, that's really generally the only meetings I have. And then like, it leaves me entire, like I normally go like to lunch after that meeting, then it leaves me my entire afternoon free to like focus on code from 1 to 6. So pretty chill.
What do you live in? What's your code that you jump into?
What part of stack am I in? I'm like a full stack engineer by title.
Yeah.
I can't talk about it, Frederick.
Oh no, I can talk about.
Don't talk about what you can't talk about.
No, I can talk about what languages we use. Like, I've been doing a lot of front end work recently. Like, we're using like React for like my project, which is exciting because like the first React project ever at GitHub. So, everything else is vanilla. But then in the back end we use Go. So I did a little bit of Go work in my first week there. but I've been focusing on helping out with the front end work mostly over the last 3 weeks.
Cool. What's it like having that time gap between the rest of your team? Is there any like challenges, and how do you guys do it?
My last at DigitalOcean, my manager and like the other half of my team was in Berlin, Germany, so I'm pretty used to it by now. So
nice.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm curious, like how exactly though, from someone who would be getting into a situation like that, how do you guys handle the difference? Like, what is there? What challenges do you guys face, and how do you solve those challenges?
I think that GitHub has made a really good process of like, it's just like the remote working process is like way like really polished. Like a lot of things are async, right? So like in like a traditional office sense, a lot of people want things to be synchronous, and like you want things like, oh, let's have a meeting. Like I would hate those are literally like my least favorite words from like hearing like whenever I worked at a big company. It's like, let's have a meeting. Like you're talking about something for like 2 minutes, and they're like, let's put me on the calendar.
An email.
Yeah, but a lot of things are like asynchronous. So like a lot of things, like what I love about it is that somebody in Europe, in the UK, can open up a pull request at the end of the day, and then they can come back the next day and deploy it because I've already, like me or somebody else in the US has given sign off on it, and vice versa. And if there's something really that we need to pair on, like since I work from home, like I will wake up earlier if I need to, or like start my day earlier to pair with them on something and like get something done together. So like really, I think the remote work that we're all remote benefits all of us because all of us are based in like the East, like an Eastern time zone, and like in America at least. And I think there's only relatively few people that are like directors or like other people like stakeholders in the project on the West Coast, but not people that do like the day-to-day development work. So it works out pretty nice having that 5-hour time gap because we're at least guaranteed like 3 to 4 hours of overlap every day.
Do you ever think about making that jump over across the pond and living over there and doing that for a while? Have any of those? Yeah.
Yeah, I've thought about if I could live anywhere. I don't know. Like everybody says, oh, where do you want to live after New York? I'm just like nowhere in the States because like nowhere in the States compares to New York City. I wouldn't mind living in Berlin, but I hear it gets mad cold there, so I don't know. But
yeah, that sounds good to me.
I've been to Berlin twice, and I love it there. It's a fun city, but also German's also a really hard language, so I don't know. And also, like, I'm close to my parents. I'm just like I can just hop on a flight and be directly back in South Carolina. Living here and seeing my parents is like gets more difficult moving out of the country. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe it'll be a good life experience to have.
Yeah, I mean, definitely you could do that for like a few years and just try that out.
Yeah,
you're young enough to where you could have that experience and then come back to the States.
Yeah, I think might as well get out while I'm young. We'll see.
Get out while you're young. get out while you can.
Get out while you can.
Yeah.
You know what? The other thing we should probably jump into, and because we talked about it in the intro, is Seeker. Could you tell us a little bit about that? What is it, and what did you find?
Yeah, Seeker. So Seeker is a job board as a service platform. Basically, it's a way for people to have content-driven sites or communities or even like high traffic like applications to build a new monetization strategy. So basically, you can have targeted advertisements for job postings that companies can come and you can create your own job board and companies can pay you to advertise on your job board. And it's been pretty dope. I got the idea after building Interface Lovers with Timothy and Will. We monetized it through Panda Jobs. And I was just like, wait, any content site should be able to have this. So I was like, I'm gonna build a job board as a service platform. And that's what I did. So yeah, it's been dope to work on. I'm built it all myself.
And this must be super expensive to get right in at the first level, right?
Like super expensive? No, it's free to get started.
Oh, it's free.
Yeah, so it's free. If you want to get more features like external JavaScript support, custom domains, free job support, like self-posting jobs and like building up your platform, you can pay for a premium package at $49 a month. But honestly, I've had some users sign up, and even on the free tier, they were able to make like $1,000 off of it, like straightforward. Yeah.
Dang, dude, nice. Good for you.
Yeah, I take 10%. Like I only get like 10%. Like if they charge $100, I get $10. Like I'm not winning. I'm like winning a little bit, but the real winners are like my users, right? Because like the profit or the revenue model is just basically keeping me in alignment with my users. It's like I want to do well whenever they do well. And they're not doing well and they're on the free tier. I don't want them to like have to be in red, you know? So
yeah, well, that's what it's about. It's being able to provide for other people like that. Good for you. That's amazing.
Yeah, 1 second, Frederick. Kyle Shevlin, who was on our show, if you're listening, Kyle, here's the job board you can put on that.
I actually tweeted him the link, and he said, "This is awesome." Just so you know. So I sent this to our guest from last week, Kyle Shevlin, and I didn't say Kevin, Kyle. Just so you know. But Kyle Shevlin, like I was talking about with the names, but Kyle Shevlin was on our show last week talking about he was going to put a job board on Second Career Devs, and I tweeted him this link, and he said it's amazing, and he's looking to using this service as well.
Awesome. Maybe I need to make like an affiliate program or something. I don't know. That's awesome.
Yeah, give us a kick. Come on, man.
Yeah. My measly I don't know how half of the 10%.
Yeah, I sent this out to like 5 people already. I'm on my kick.
We'll see what the conversion ratio is like.
But that's and I even really enjoy the domain name. That's it's pretty cool. It's for anybody listening, and obviously we'll put a link in the show notes. But it's and correct me if I'm wrong because I had a little bit to drink. It's secret.company.
Yep, easy.
Yeah. I love that. That's awesome.
Thanks. I struggled to think of a name for a long time because naming things is hard. Like I said.
You touched on interface lovers, so maybe we should go into that because with time it's almost 8:00. Let's talk about interface lovers. What is that? I love interfaces. Do you, Brian?
Yeah,
I do.
Oh, okay. Well, there's something for that.
Yeah, so we have a lot of Interface Lovers. Basically was an online digital magazine or an online magazine for interviewing various product designers at tech companies. We have all the same questions, but it's a way of curating or getting to know these designers at some of these big tech companies or these popular tech companies and how they their journey and their pathway to getting into becoming a product designer. And yeah, William Chandler at Panda, shout out to Will, that's my boy. Reached out to both me and Timothy Achumba, who's a product designer at Facebook. And he was just like, yo, I've always wanted to collaborate with y'all, and I have a really dope idea. I've always wanted to work with Will too, so I was like, all right, let's make this happen. Timothy, his work is awesome. He's so talented, and I have mad respect for him as a designer. And even as a developer too, he's this polish and all that. So I was like, I'd be a fool to pass this up. So yeah, we built that in a month or two and then launched it. And just started curating content. It's been getting mad traffic since launch. I haven't looked at the stats recently, but it's a really popular site still nonetheless.
Wow, that's amazing. How many people are hitting the site a day? Do you know?
I haven't looked at stats in a minute, but it used to be
you had 500,000 page views after the launch, you said, yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot. So
that's awesome.
I'm surprised it didn't go down. It's on a $10 droplet. Yo. Hey, let's chill.
That's awesome.
I like how you guys expanded it to include music as well. I thought that was a really neat idea.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah.
It's interfacelovers.com mixes. Mixes brought to you by your favorite designers. I love that. That's pretty cool.
Who's some of your favorite mixers or mixes?
Yeah.
I haven't listened to a playlist like that, to be quite honest, dude. I used to listen to the same. I listen to certain artists just whenever I'm doing programming because I can't listen to things with words most of the time because it distracts me.
Oh, really? That's interesting. Okay, so do you go just the ambient sound, or are you doing one of those, or are you a calm?
I listen to instrumentals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Dilla, Flying Lotus.
Was that part of it at launch, or did you guys add that? I don't remember if it was there.
Oh, it's part of it at launch. Yeah, every single designer that we have, we can make us a playlist.
Oh no! Did you have anyone who's like, I don't listen to music?
Not yet.
How are you choosing people to get on there?
Yeah.
Mostly comes from nominations. In the beginning, we all had and I asked people for recommendations and from friends. And a lot of people just gave the recommendations, and then we had a huge backlog. And yeah. So that's how most of it came about.
Oh, that's so interesting. I'm sure you have such a large backlog of people that you want to get on there.
We had like at least at one point we had like I think 20. No, way more than that. We do one a week, so we had like at least a backlog enough for like at least a year, and maybe up to like a year and a half now.
Who are you looking forward to getting on there?
I haven't looked at that spreadsheet in a minute. The people I looked forward to, like
just on the top of your head, like who you're really interested to have on there.
The ones I'm really interested are the ones I recommended early. So like, I don't know.
It's like I got everyone, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
But Julius Tarnge, he's former product designer at Facebook. Really good friend of mine, actually. I was excited to read his interview, and he brought his humor very well. And one of my really good buddies, Jordan Noby, a current product designer at Facebook as well. I have a lot of friends that work at Facebook now that I'm realizing it.
Don't like half of all designers work at Facebook at this point?
Yeah. But
I think it's required.
Yeah.
His interview was really dope as well, so it was sick.
So what are you listening to lately? Speaking of the mixes, like what kind of, I know you said you're listening to more instrumental while you work, but what do you listen to when you're not working?
I was at a bar recently, and the bar was playing Robert Glasper. That was really, really good. It's like classical. Well, it's like classical music, like classical piano, but it has a lot of like a hip hop soul feel, like a hip hop feel to it. Been listening to Blood Orange, her, Daniel Caesar, yeah, and lots of old music like Lucy Pearl, Clips, Hell Hath No Fury is like a banger of an album. Only Built for Cuban Links, and The Internet, Hive Mind. So yeah, some of my go-to are that's what I've been listening to recently.
I think I saw on your website you actually had a Kanye quote, right?
Oh yeah, I need to remove that because Kanye's Kanye's on my he's on my shit list. Yeah.
Oh, what are you talking about?
He's wilding. Nah, Kanye is wilding. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. I forgot I even had to put on my website.
I don't know. I don't know.
I was wondering if you were still gonna have that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a funny quote though.
It is a funny quote. Yeah. Well, I think that's quote came from who brought it to life? David Chappelle.
David Chappelle, yeah, David Chappelle show. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I had this guy on the show, and I was like, "What?" And he said that, and I was like, "Wow, that guy's amazing."
Yeah, dude. It's
amazing. Oh, Dave Chappelle. Did you get to watch those two new specials you put out?
No, but I've heard they're hilarious. I'm like,
they are so good.
Yeah, dude. I've been like, I'm gonna agree. Oh, what?
I don't agree. I think his older stuff was way better. The new stuff.
That's nostalgia talking.
It's so much tamer. Like,
I completely disagree. I think his new stuff is so much more better, and it's very interesting because both of his specials seem like they're two different comedians, and I say that because the way he's in that audience, and it's very a group kind of thing, and then he has that very intimate one where he's in a club, and it's you get to see really the diversity of his personality, and it's amazing. He's so brilliant. Yeah, his new stuff, love it.
Yeah, he just seemed tamer to me. Like he didn't have the attitude that he used to have.
Oh wow, that's interesting. You got that from that. Yeah. But, well, I mean, everybody interprets everything differently. So
correct.
Yeah.
I have a topic that I kind of like to talk with you about. You actually posted a recent tweet about a problem you're having. I'm curious. I think it's a good topic to talk about. You said in the tweet that you're having trouble working on your talk. You feel like you're not smart enough, good enough, and just talking with you now, all of your background. I mean, you've built a game, you've built all these successful sites, and the fact that you have those issues as well. I think it's important for new speakers, new designers, new developers, people who are just getting in the scene to realize, hey, everyone faces this. And I'm curious, how are you working through that?
I think my problem is like I'm very hard on myself. Like all my friends are just like, dude, you are very overly self-critical. I'm just like, I hold myself to high standards. I also don't feel like I'm ever doing enough. I get through it. Like So I think I'm still have to work through the feelings of like mediocrity, or like, not being as smart after I give the talk. I'm like, something that's you continually have to check that. Like, I think I have to continually check myself on, and others that are going through it probably should as well. And just for working on the talk itself, I just literally have been holding myself up in like coffee shops or something after work or wherever it's open that lets me use my laptop, and getting out of my apartment and just focusing on that. Honestly, my confidence, like, ebbs and wanes. Like, I feel most confident after doing something like, I feel like, accomplishing something. Like after launching Seeker, I was like on a high for like 3 months or something like that. And like, that really helped me because like I had gotten like my ego like shattered or decimated by like failing interviews last year, right? But now I like that like confidence I had for my Seeker launch and all that really helped me in my future interviews, or my interviews after launch. You just have to keep on doing things that like affirm yourself, or at least like, confirm to yourself like, yo, I'm actually not like, I'm smart, like, I can do this, I'm smart, I'm good, I'm talented, but like, or at least I'm like, I got this in the bag, I can like step up to the challenge, or I can like become better and prove myself if I'm not like there yet. But yeah, it's a hard thing to work through.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that, I mean, you being as successful as you are, that you face that. And I think that everyone should realize, no matter what level you're at, it doesn't matter if you've like, you started, I'm sure even, Steve Jobs and Bill Gates and all of the, they probably had the same issues where they had, they felt like they weren't good enough at something, or, that something was failing, and that we all go through that. And what is your talk about? Can you share any of that at all yet? Or
yeah, let's talk about building. Well, it's on the website. It's like building a canary testing. Yeah, I'm speaking at Strange Loop, and the talk's on building a canary testing framework.
And when are you doing the talk?
September 28th.
And where are you doing the talk?
Yeah. Oh, where? I said one. Sorry. St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh, awesome. I like St. Louis. That's awesome. It seems there's so many that talks and events that are like New York, San Francisco. It's nice to hear one in St. Louis. That's awesome.
What's the conference called?
Yeah, what is it?
Strange Loop.
Strange Loop. He said that. Oh. we neither one of us caught it. We're like, Strange Loop.
I talk fast. My bad.
Yeah.
No, I was more writing interesting questions down that I want to ask you.
Yeah, hit me.
Okay, great. So, how many? Do you have any brothers and sisters? Any siblings?
Yeah, I'm the third.
The third? Okay.
Yeah, third born. I have one brother and two sisters. So my parents got 2 boys and 2 girls, and they're like, all right, we're chill. So yeah.
Do you feel like any of that inner dialogue that we were talking about, where you're, and everybody's their worst critic, obviously, do you feel like any of that inner dialogue comes from your family upbringing, anything to where you had to compete with your siblings?
Oh, I compete with my older sister all the time, dude. Like, I think it's a middle, but we also talked about it. Like, it's like, I think it's a partly of like middle child syndrome, because like, I'm one of the 2 middle children. But also my older sister and I are like, have all my siblings, me and my older sister, love her to death. We're closest in age. We're only 13 months apart. So like, yeah, so me and her would always compete. Like, I remember it happened being younger. Like, she skipped 1st grade, but then whenever I was in 1st grade, I got pissed because I couldn't skip 1st grade, right? I was like, what? You let, because we had the same teacher too. So like, I was like, what? You let my sister skip, not me, and I'm just as smart, But like, nah, I think it's also just like, all my siblings are smart and like talented. They're brilliant, but I don't know. I think I get like acceptance. I don't know. I don't think it comes from my parents. I think it's more just like I don't know. I've always been decent, or at least above average grade wise and stuff like that. I just think it's a matter of I'm being hard on myself, and I have strict Nigerian parents, and I want to make sure I'm living up to their expectations. Even now they're just like, wow, you're doing great. But now I'm just like, no, I got to be better.
Yeah, I read a great interview that you did for people of color in tech.com. And we'll have a link in the show notes, but yeah, it talked about how you're 1st generation Nigerian, and how, by the way, great style. I love your clothes, your outfits. I need you to dress me. But
Brian needs help.
It said, so your parents apparently used to tell you, "Oh, so you think you're an American?" And you said in the interview that you have a pretty strong connection to your Nigerian culture. And honestly, it's on the parents of individuals to make sure their children inherit a key understanding of their heritage and where they come from. I love that. And I love that she said your parents. I feel like it was your mom. Was it your mom or your dad that said, "Oh, so you think you're American"?
Both, but most of the time it'd be like my dad, because like my dad.
Oh, really? I feel like it's a mom thing to say.
No, but be most. It depends on who it was. Like I bet my mom would say that, but like my dad would also just like do it whenever he's like chewing us out for something. He's like, "Oh, so most of the time my mom would be like, wait until your dad gets home. He's gonna give you an earful." Yeah, so.
What's an instance where they might have said that? What did you do that as a? Oh, so you think you're American, huh? Like what was your?
I'm trying to remember. Oh, I feel like talking back or something like that. Like sometimes some American people that like don't have any concept of like respect for parents. It's like weird whenever you hang out with one of your friends. I'm just like they tell their parents to shut up, and I'd hear that I'd be like,
what?
I'm over here like thinking, I'm like, oh, I'm about to get my ass beat for letting them say this to them, like, but no, it's like something like that. It's like I could never ever like even talking back to my parents or even getting smart with them to be like, oh, so you think you're American now, huh? The way you're talking to us like that, because like honestly, if this was like back in Nigeria, they give way worse punishment to like things like here, like. Nobody really talks back. So
no Xbox for you. Oh no.
Right.
I'm gonna go cry in my room.
Right. So that was pretty much a main instance,
Oh yeah, that article, that interview was a really nice interview, by the way. How did you that and the other you did an interview for Model View Culture too.
Yeah.
For two black nerds, and man, that was a great. I just the discussion and especially about how it's important that people of color get exposure in tech and get awareness that hey, you can work in this field. There's that you're a role model. I mean, how was it like to? That's another thing. That's another thing on your shoulders. You're like, I need to show everyone.
I hate feeling like I just know decent opportunities come to me because like Twitter I didn't realize how powerful Twitter was as a product or like a platform until like post college, because like I was using it to like tweet rubbish in undergrad, and like it's gotten me done so much for my career and like I guess like connected me with awesome people like. But I also want to like, I'm also a lot of people, I am vulnerable. I'm like myself on Twitter. I'm just like, we're all human, People think that a lot of people in the tech industry, especially those that have like a huge audience or even like a huge following are like these perfect people. But no, like, I'm flawed just like you, like I'm like, I have my professional strengths. I have my personal like strengths, but I also have like weaknesses and also have failures and also have like, like, even though my career may seem like it is together, like, I have to go through other things like, like doubting myself or like, periods of like feeling down, breakups, everything. Like we're all human and that all ties into your professional career and like what you have to do, at the end of the day. So I think people just gotta be more of themselves or remind people like, hey, like, I do other shit than just like type stuff on a computer, like.
Yeah, it's not exactly who you are. It's part of who you are. We were talking to Alyssa Nichol a few episodes ago, and she was talking about how you have to diversify your passions, and it's so important to not just be. And she was saying it's a way to prevent burnout. So it's not just about being in front of the screen the whole day, and that's your identity. But find some other things like. Her thing was that she also does scuba diving, and that's part of her personality. And she gets to be a part of that community and talk to those people about that. Do you have anything like that? Do you, we know about who you are online and what you do with your projects and where you work. Do you have any kind of other interest where you diversify your passions?
I dance periodically.
Dance?
Oh. Let me see.
I'm taking dance classes. No.
Oh, nice. Enlighten us. Like some more. Yeah, let's see some examples of the stance.
No.
Tango?
He's like,
It takes two people to do that.
Yeah,
Just, you know.
I take hip hop dance classes mostly.
Nice.
I pictured you as a tango guy. Okay.
Yeah, actually, I can't do Latin dance, although I want to learn. I do know a little bit of ballroom dancing, swing, and was it
I love swing dancing.
waltz? Yeah, a little bit, but I like dancing a lot. It's fun. So that's why I do in my free time mostly. Mostly hang out with friends, writing, reading. I've been trying to write like a little bit more journaling and stuff like that to do brain dumps and yeah, and also I like playing video games. Like Overwatch is my jam, and the new Spider-Man game on PS4 is like sick.
That looks so amazing. Like just the stuff where he's like jumping in the water and stuff. Like they really did a good job. I'm looking forward to Far Cry 5.
Yeah, that's also gonna be sick. I still have to beat 4. I'm like 80% of the way there, but I need to finish it out.
Is it the Spider-Man game an open world game too? Like
yep, in Manhattan. Like it's weird going around. I'm just like, yo, I recognize these streets. Like
that's awesome.
I'm gonna go into a Starbucks.
Yeah,
makes me want to get a console again just to play it.
Yeah, they're fun. I get to play it like 3 hours a month. Hey, do you mind if we talk to you a little bit about some of your inspiration, like where you pull your inspiration from? And we'll cover a few different mediums. I'd like to ask you about what kind of podcast you listen to for inspiration, or just for relaxation.
You know, I don't really listen to podcasts. I don't really listen to podcasts like that. It's funny because everybody's like, "Oh, what's your favorite podcast?" I'm just like, you know, I have a podcast, but I don't listen to podcasts.
Okay, well, let me switch that up a little bit then. Do you have anything that you watch that you're more interested in instead of listening to?
No. I mean, I'm nerdy. I like anime. I watch that, but that's about it.
Hit me with your top 3 animes.
That's a hard one.
No, it's not. Come on. I can tell you right
this season or like all time?
What?
This season or like all time?
No, just like all time. Like I'm season's probably easier. Like I'm into like the latest Dragon Ball, the Ancient Mage Bride.
Yeah.
What is it? Ghoul.
Tokyo Ghoul.
Tokyo Ghoul. Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah. Did you see that?
Yeah. I saw the first one. I didn't see. I watched Route A, and that one was actually really bad. I didn't like Route A.
Oh, dude, you got to go through all of them because the ending like makes up for it. They do this thing in season 2 and in season 3 where it's like totally you don't get it, and then they bring it back, and it's the payoff is great.
All right, I'll give it another chance. I think all time for me. I really like Samurai Champloo, mostly for the animation style and the music in it. I like Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. That one was also really good. I like it better than the original FMA. And what else do I like? Third. Dang, I had one in my head. I just lost it. I don't know. I like a lot. I've watched a lot of different Gundam seasons. Like Iron Blooded Orphans was pretty good, but I like Gundam as well. But I do think like recently Darling in the Franxx is a really good mech anime. Like if it has mechs in it, I like big like scientific robots fighting each other. Like big robots.
I gotta get back into that. I watched like 2 episodes and I wasn't sold yet.
Oh, it's so good.
Is it?
So
all right.
I'll
have to try. Like I just kind of like when they got into like the way the people were in the robot, I was like, that's a little weird, but all right. Yeah, I'll try it out again.
Did you see the new Voltron series?
Oh, they're making a new Voltron series? Oh, that's pretty nice.
The rework?
Oh, dude, there's like 5 seasons in.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's not bad. I watched the first 2 seasons. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can talk about. Don't get me started on anime. I can talk about this for a good minute.
We're started on. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
What you got?
I don't know. There's a new Steins Gate that I've been like trying to like watch. I've been so busy on my slides and like just new work stuff. I'm just like don't even watch shows like that anymore. So
I got a Funimation subscription.
I can take a I got one. I think I got one too. I'm gonna take a break after I finish my talk and give my talk, and after my deadline at work like finally passes. So whenever that is.
Let me get back on the inspiration track. So do you have any heroes or heroines that you look up to, that you check their work, that you find some inspiration from, and you pull into your own ideas?
Not really anymore.
Now look at this mirror right over here.
Well, I inspire myself, like, but at the same time, like, I think, actually not to lie, I think like the fortunate thing about it, like, is like my career has progressed, is that a lot of people I looked up to as heroes, or that I've admired has become like friends and like mentors to me. Like it's weird. Like I'm just like meeting these people in person. I'm just like, I was reading your blog like posts, so like I've been reading your blog posts and your writing and stuff since like I was in like college, like in undergrad, like yo. But it's like, oh, now we're like on a first name basis and it's like chill.
That's so amazing. Any name drops? You want to drop names?
Oh yeah. Well, I really like Sarah Drasner. She's awesome. And I got to meet her in person. It's weird, not weird. It's just like funny because I met her in person because her husband, congratulations to them, like recent husband, was the director of engineering at my company, at my last company that I worked at. And just met her in person. She's awesome. I've been reading her blog posts for like years. So that was really dope. Brian Lyles, I got the opportunity to work with him. He's amazing. Just doing dope work, great engineer. I look up to him because he's like where I want to be at, like whenever down the line, like, and it's cool having somebody that's like a black dude like me doing like really cool things. And I just have like, I'm glad that I'm able to like meet with these people and call them like my friends and like also like mentors and stuff like that to me. So
nice. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, hey, we're getting really close to the end of the show. Brian, do you have a spotlight question for us today?
Yeah, I do. I'm actually going to revisit one I did previously because I like it because it's a nice look into you. It's a group question, and you'll get to hear us answer first. It's something about you, personal as possible is my goal. Mine is, again, it's something that happened to you when you're younger or as an adult. It was my previous one was when I fell out of the tree. Frederick remembers. So it's something that happened to you that you injured yourself at some. It could be anything. It could be you broke your leg or whatnot. My monitor just decided to flicker off. There we go. Mine is going to be when I was end of second grade. It was really traumatic for me in second grade because I jumped off a swing and my friend jumped off at the same time. It was a chain swing. And when I jumped off, his swing came back, smacked me in the head. And I was like, whatever. It hit me in the head. I'm a kid. I just shook it off, started walking. And then I see my friend at the time, Will, he looks at me and he points, he's pointing, his mouth's wide open, his eyes are wide. He's like, you're bleeding. There's like white sand. It's a playground, right? So behind me is a blood trail as where I walked, and I was like bleeding, dripping down, and I actually passed out. And the counselor or whatever they were called at the time had to carry me to the nurse. I ended up having to get like 7-10 stitches, and I missed at the time, it was such a big deal. I missed the end of second grade party, and I was so excited about it. But that's my silly, ridiculous thing that happened to me. I hurt myself. And Frederick, yeah, your turn.
Wait, so wait, explain to me what's the question exactly?
It can be something that happened to you, that like an injury or an event, or it really could be anything. I just like to learn something personal.
I could share an injury. When I was a little kid, I was riding my bicycle. Actually, it was my buddy's bicycle around a GT Performer. Does that sound right?
GT Performer? Is that a car?
No, it was a bicycle. It's one of those trick bicycles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was riding it around the Mr. Softy truck, which is an ice cream truck up north. People around the south won't get it. And I was riding around the Mr. Softy truck, and it was a soft serve ice cream truck, and it would park and it would put out the stop sign like a bus. So when you drove by, you had to stop and wait for the ice cream truck, and then you would stop and look and go by, and a car didn't stop, and I was coming around the ice cream truck, and then it hit the tire of the bicycle, which then the handlebars went right into my head.
Ow.
Gave me like a big scar, like right in my head, and I had to get, I think, 6 stitches right here, and nearly missed my eye, almost took my eye out. And I remember I had the same kind of reaction from one of my friends that you just recalled, where they kind of put their hand to their mouth and looked and pointed and said, "Oh, fuckles, looks like your eye is bleeding the fuck out." And I was like, "Oh shit!" So I was totally bleeding, and I remember had to go to the hospital and get 6 stitches. So that's my thing.
Dang, I don't think I've ever gotten it. Yeah, I was long going down. Mine's not really that exciting. I was longboarding
I
down.
fell when I was playing hopscotch. Oh, poor you.
I know. No, I was longboarding downhill, and like there was a really steep hill in South Bend, Indiana. And like I was wearing a tank top, and just wasn't the smartest idea. So basically, I fell off my longboard while going fast downhill, and I got like a road burn on like. So it's like a huge like a scar, and like well, you have to see it. Like this one right here, it goes all the way across my back. It's from like the scar from like the road. Like
that feels pretty traumatic. I mean, you still have a scar, so I would say that was probably not good.
Yeah, that sucks.
Back. It took like 2 months for it to fully heal. Like it was so bad. But yeah, it was painful.
Dang.
How old were you? You said?
Oh, I was just undergrad, so I was like 20. No.
Did you skate that hill again later?
Oh, heck no. I was like, no.
I thought you were gonna say, of course. That's funny.
No,
I can't go.
No. I don't do hills because I don't know how to slide. Well, I don't know how to slide anymore on the longboard, and even then, it was hard for me to slide because like I had gotten knee surgery. So it was like you have to actually get down, like whip your knees around to like actually slide. So yeah, didn't know how to stop, and like also I just don't bother. I play it safe now. I'm pretty risk averse now. You know, I'm not like immortal anymore like you are whenever you're in like.
You're no longer
like yeah, like once you hit like 21 or something, or like even 18, like
oh, you don't know. You don't know. 10 more years, you'll know it. You know what that really means.
When you're an old man like Brian, you'll figure it out.
We're back.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, I think we might have to. I see you highlighting in the show notes Janelle's lightning round, and I wish Janelle could be here today. Janelle, we miss you. Janelle is has a previous engagement, but there's only so much Janelle to go around. We love you, Janelle. But I think we might have to skip the questions since we're getting so close to time. I want to be respectful for your time. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And I'd like to ask you a final question is, and we love to ask all of our guests, do you have any kind of final words of wisdom that you would like to bestow upon our audience? Anything that you would like people to take away?
Sage advice.
Sage advice. I don't have sage advice. I guess my
anything that you might read from Fortune Cookie.
Yeah, just I don't know. Be yourself. Do good work. Try to keep it always improving each day. Like, don't worry about like how good. Like, easier said than done. Don't worry about how good you are, but always aim to be better than you were the day before, or try to learn something new every day. And it could be just something small, what you view as small and insignificant, but it adds up over time and compounds over time. So yeah, that's what I'd say.
Nice. That's great advice. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, what's the best way people could get a hold of you? Obviously, we will have a bunch of links, but how do you want people to know how to get a hold of you for people that are listening?
I keep my DMs open on Twitter. Honestly, I probably respond to DMs on Twitter faster than I do email. So yeah, just hit me up on Twitter at Kwuchu, KWUCHU. And yeah, follow me there, shoot me a DM, always responsive. You can also go to my website, iheanyi.com, IHEANYI.com. And if you want to shoot me an email, I also do respond to emails as well. You can find a link to email me there. And I respond pretty much, like I try to respond in a timely manner to all emails, but I will get back to you within a week. So yeah.
Nice. Brian, do you have anything else that you want to share?
No, just great having you on, and I was
thanks for sharing
so
much.
Thank you so much for being on. Awesome, thank you, and thank you everybody for watching. Please go to iTunes again and subscribe. We would honestly appreciate that. Go to the YouTubes and subscribe there as well. Thank you, everybody. Toodles and noodles.